mentioned that there's only 13 of them and they're few and far between. And what kind of a, privilege, a part of history is it for Ashford to not just stand one of them, but two of them?
I mean, when I say it's a massive responsibility not only for the farm but for the industry. When we look at these horses, we don't necessarily just look at them as our horses, but they do belong to the fans, they belong to the public, and that's why we're so open to horse country and all the fans coming to see these horses. It's our responsibility to share these horses, and ultimately that's how we grow the sport. And the likes of horse country, which is a wonderful endeavour, bringing fans from all over the world. I mean, I think it's well known that we've had, every year you get visitors from all 50 states, from all around the world coming to see these horses, and realistically the horses they want to see are Justify and American Pharoah. And that's anytime it's our goal to obviously keep the sport growing, and having these two horses here is a responsibility that we don't take lightly. And hopefully their legacy will not continue not only here but on other farms and other stud farms around the world.
Looking at Justify, he's been here for several years now too. What's he been like to be around the barn? What's his sort of attitude toward his job like?
He's very like Scott Daddy in many ways. He doesn't look like Scott Daddy, but a lot of the Scott Daddies, we've stood three sons of Scott Daddy here. Caravaggio was medium sized and grey, Mendelssohn is medium sized and bay, and Justify is a monster in chestnut. So Scott Daddy cut them in all shapes and sizes. But Justify's trajectory has been immense. To get an Epsom Derby winner, a horse like City of Troy, European champion, 2-year-old and 3-year-old. That really set him apart, and he's a horse that's again done it on both surfaces and will be represented by a Kentucky Derby starter this year. He is a wonderful sire, and he seems to impart the same brilliance that he had, but with the toughness that Scott Daddy had. And Scott Daddies were renowned for being very, very tough. For quite like Galileo in that sense, they didn't really know when they were beaten. They want to please. And I think the Justifies are taking after that.
3 crops of 3-year-old age and 3 Kentucky Derby starters for Justify. How rare is that to see a stallion who is that consistently brilliant instead of maybe having that little bell curve that some of them have in their early years?
Yeah, you see that a lot with stallions. You get the sort of peaks and troughs, so to speak, and that can be down to luck, or it can be down to maybe getting a stellar book of mares in your first crop, and then the quality and the amount might dwindle before they have their first runners. But Justify has been a horse that has had immense support from the moment he's been at stud, whether it be here or in Coolmore, Australia. So he's always had that support. So I think you'd look for Justify to continue that. The quality of mares that he's covering is really second to none. I mean, I remember when American Pharoah stood his first crop here, he covered the dams of 68 Grade 1 winners or producers, and Justify has done that pretty much every year. So the quality and the quantity of mares that he's covered has never really waned. So you'd hope that Justify is a horse that we'll be reading about and following in bloodlines for hopefully the next couple of generations.